That vet's offer. He was with that dog.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode number 113. And we are broadcasting live from Peach Time Out on Fort Myers Beach. A little early today, 8:30, because we have a ton of guests. We have great topics to talk about. Later on in the show, we're going to talk about the hotels taking reservations yesterday. We have Mark List coming on, formerly of the Island Sandpaper. He launched a new business, and also the new owners of the Pancake House. So we have an action-packed show. Welcome to the show, dear.
Thank you, dear.
How was your run today?
It was rough.
Yeah. How many miles?
There was not a lot of sand to run on. That was well packed. 5 miles today.
Very nice.
Thank you.
All righty. We're going to introduce our first guest from Clearwater, Florida, to talk to us about a huge topic. This is Paul Von Feldt, and Paul is with the Florida Beach Rentals in Clearwater. Paul, how are you? Thanks so much for coming on.
Good. Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Paul, tell us first a little bit about your business.
So I'm up here in Clearwater Beach. We have a vacation rental management company. As you just introduced, we have about 400 or about 200 units that we manage. Everywhere from Clearwater Beach all the way down to Treasure Island. Mostly in Clearwater Beach. Clearwater Beach is where we kind of headquarters, I guess that's where our office is. Been doing it for 18 years now. So
great. And
experience behind your belt.
And obviously the rentals in Florida have been a huge topic, and for some reason, with everything the governor's doing, he doesn't want to open the rentals, the short-term rentals. So tell us, first of all, why you think that is.
You know, that's a great question. I think everybody's asking that exact same question, and nobody knows because nobody's saying. As a matter of fact, we just put in a lawsuit last Friday, and since that lawsuit went in, I'm sure he was served. Not a peep, not a word. We haven't heard a thing from him. Yesterday was the first time we heard anything about vacation rentals again. And that was when a reporter was asking, so what's going on with vacation rentals? And he says, I'm putting it in the hands of the counties now. So that's kind of interesting. So then of course they have to make a proposal and submit it to him. So here's the thing: is we're still and the whole premise of the lawsuit was we're not being treated as our competition, which would be hotels, resorts, inns, which they get. There's no restrictions on them, right? For us, he closes us down and holds no restrictions on hotels whatsoever, which is very interesting with no reason. And that's what everybody's asking for. The main thing is what's the reason for that? Can it be safety? You think safety, right? Well, I'm all for safety, and I'm all for that. That's not a big deal. We want to be safe, and we want to make sure that the world gets back to normal. Yes, but why then would we put people in hotels where they have to check in a lobby all together? They're in interior corridors all together. They have to go out to dinner because there's no kitchens. Rooms are cleaned systematically in a hotel, as you know. Hotel rooms are cleaned 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then they move on to the next one. They move on to the next one. They move on to the next one. And in addition to that, maid service comes in once a day, so they could be spreading the coronavirus everywhere. With a vacation rental, it's kind of a home away from home, aren't we? We're told we have to stay-at-home orders, right? Well, vacation rentals is kind of a home. It's a home away from home. It is a home. It's not kind of a home. It is a home, right? So I would think that the safety factor is not part of this. It has nothing to do with safety that I can see.
We're talking to Paul Von Feldt from Florida Beach Rentals in Clearwater, and Paul and a group of others have filed a lawsuit against the governor for not opening the rentals in Florida while he's opening everything else. And I know, dear, you had a question, so go on.
Well, no, I just wonder how many people are involved in the lawsuit.
Right now there's 6, but 12 have just joined the lawsuit. 6 more plaintiffs, or I'm sorry, 12 more plaintiffs. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, we also filed a preliminary injunction for it as well, which is kind of a I don't know, stop and desist kind of order kind of thing. Stop doing what you're doing. And his answer is, I'm just going to give it to somebody else. I'm not sure how that is all going to work, but more and more people are joining. As a matter of fact, I believe I was just reading this morning. I was looking around, and it looks like rented.com and the VRMA, which I would hope that the VRMA is very involved in this whole thing, also have now put in a lawsuit. So he's got 2 lawsuits on him on this very subject, from what I could tell. I know that we have one. It looks like they have one as well now.
Okay, and we understand that the technical issue, folks. When we ask the question, it's a little bit of feedback, so we'll try and keep our question short. So Paul, the question I had for you is, one of the things that I heard yesterday was that I talked to a hotel owner. One of the hotel owners said that the reason they're open and you guys aren't open is because they can keep it cleaner than you guys can.
Oh, that's interesting. And I just kind of covered that, a matter of fact, right? So when our cleaning crews go in, they do usually maybe 2 units for a crew, right? So they'll go in, it takes about 4 hours to clean a house or a condo. They're big, right? So, and of course, I mean, they're doing all the cleaning standards. Everything is wiped down. We're very cautious about the coronavirus, right? We take it very seriously, and we're making sure that everything is sanitized and cleaned, right? Right down to the remote controls, right? Things that people touch. So how can hotels claim to be cleaner than vacation rentals when they're touching several units? So taking touches from one person's unit right to another one, and so on. So that can't be the excuse. I mean, I can understand on a hotel's point of view, yes, we're cleaner than vacation rentals. I have the same thing. I believe that we're cleaner than hotels.
We're talking to Paul Von Feldt from Florida Beach Rentals, who's filed a lawsuit against the governor on behalf of rentals, short-term rentals on Fort Myers Beach. Here.
No, I was just wondering, have there been the industry that you're in, have they given you any guidance on cleaning and that kind of stuff, or is it kind of a muddy situation there?
No, we're following the CDC guidelines of keeping everything sanitized. There's been nothing that I know of that has been given to vacation rentals that says here's how you do it, other than from the VRMA. They did send out some guidelines. I take that back. There has been several guidelines coming in from several different entities, VRMA being the main one, but no real government entities that I know of. So we do have guidelines. I mean, we have the CDC guidelines, as a matter of fact. You know, sanitized. In our office, everything is sanitized several times a day. We keep our 6 feet apart from one another in the office. Other than that, you know, I think it's pretty standard across the board for everyone.
So, Paul, I think you told me yesterday the governor has 14 days to respond. So there's really less than 7 days left for him to respond to your lawsuit. Is that correct?
I'm not an attorney, but from what I've been told by our attorney, that's what it is. The injunction is actually to speed that up a little bit. Like I said, like when let's say you file this is how I understand it. Let's say you file a lawsuit against a spouse or somebody that you want to keep away from you. You would do an injunction in order to do a restraining order. And the injunction is like not only just a restraining order, but it's like a stop and desist kind of thing. So, which is an immediate thing, and that was just filed on Friday, which we're in hopes to hear something back on Monday after the weekend.
Another thing that I think you mentioned, which I thought was quite interesting, is that there were 7 people from the hotel industry on the governor's task force. Do you think that the lobby has a lot to do with getting them open and keeping you closed?
Just the way all this thing is kind of playing out, you can't see it any other way, or I can't see it any other way. They're actually on the task force, right? You have seven hotel owners or people that are heavily involved in hotels are on the task force. Well, what better way than to use the government to squash your competition, right? We are their competition, and I understand that. I mean, and I'm all for bucking heads and whatnot, but using the government to do it is just wrong.
I'm sure this is your full-time gig, correct?
Yes, it is.
So I can't imagine the economic impact that it's had on you. And do you have employees as well?
We have about 20 employees. Most of them we've sent home and working at home. We've kept them employed the whole time. We haven't. We reduced their hours maybe a little bit, but not a lot. We're keeping them busy, keeping people from going on to unemployment. Going off of what our president said, let's keep everybody employed. Let's not just lay everybody off. We believe in him. That's the direction that we've gone. And the people that are really being impacted the most are probably the people that we can't keep going is our subcontractors, such as cleaners, right? We just don't have anything for them to do. Our office folks, admin, we have work for them to do, but there's just nothing we can do for with maintenance other than going in and having our maintenance crews go to each of the properties and doing what we call a PMSR, which is preventative maintenance servicing, to kind of make sure that the properties are all ready to go once we get back on board here. But everybody else is pretty much just laid off. So there's a lot of people that have been displaced in this.
And were you able to get that payment protection program or no?
We did. Yeah, which helped a lot. Now, it came very late. We only got that just last week. So it took a long time. So it was a real struggle. Well, as a matter of fact, it's still a real struggle just to keep this thing rolling right now. So if the goal is to get rid of vacation rentals, they're doing a pretty damn good job of it. They're pushing us right to our brink, I would certainly think. And something's got to be done about it. It is wrong.
So, Paul, the minute the press conference was over yesterday with the governor, when, luckily he said something about it. The first question I have for you was, did you know in advance that he was going to say to the counties, submit a plan and I'll look at it? Or, that I cover things. I watch things on a daily basis, especially when it involves things that are close. What? Sorry, my question's gone on. You're right. When my question's longer than the answer, then I'm doing a poor job of asking it. But now I lost my train of thought. My question was going to be the counties. Did you have any clue that the counties had to now submit a plan?
None at all. That was all a big surprise to me. I mean, they were talking about opening, doing some more opening, right? And we were in hopes that he might say something good or positive on our industry, but it was just pretty much more negative.
So in your county, have you gotten any information from your reps, what they're doing and when they meet and all that?
Nope, haven't heard anything whatsoever. There are some things that are going out to help push that along. The VRMA sent I just saw it this morning. As a matter of fact, I'll put it on your Facebook page there. It's a link to trying to kind of partition the counties to try to push them along and get this thing rolling as fast as we possibly can. But hopefully, here would be the bigger hope is because that's going to take time, right? To get all these, he wants a plan, right, on how we're going to reopen the industry. It should never have been closed in the first place, unless they were to close hotels as well. So he wants to do that. I would certainly think, let's keep it fair. Let's keep it across the board with this industry. And if hotels are open, we should just be open, right? It's just fair. And what's the plan? Well, I think we're beyond the plan because hotels never closed in the first place. Not in our area, anyways. I believe they did down in like Miami, but they didn't close here, right? Not even restrictions other than the CDC restrictions.
Right. For some people might not even know that that Florida, the state, the governor never closed hotels because they considered them to be essential. On Fort Myers Beach, however, because they were afraid of the influx of people, they did. But they opened up yesterday. Whole different story. So yesterday, after the governor's press conference was over, the code enforcement people here on the beach went right out and started knocking on doors to enforce this thing. Who has the who enforces short-term rentals? Is it code enforcement? Is it the state? Is it the organization you mentioned? Is it the sheriff's department? Who does it?
Yes, all of those. That's right. It's of course regulated by the DBPR, but they use the local jurisdictions kind of regulated. I mean, the DBPR can't be out in our area, so they, from what I understand, I don't know about the sheriffs or any of that, but code enforcement from the city is definitely out checking, looking. Absolutely.
So, Paul, where the folks down here, obviously they're ticked off. Where can they find out what you're up to and keep in touch with you in the lawsuit and get involved if they want to? How do they do that? Where do they find you? I think he froze. Look at that, he's frozen. Mr. Freeze shot him with ice there. So, well, Paul, we thank you for coming on. You look like you're in shock right there on our show. I know sometimes Kim does that to people, but we'll post the stuff from the lawsuit and from Paul.
I was going to ask him what if a plan had to come up. What kind of plan would he suggest or be in favor of? And I just get the feeling that, and I understand, like nothing, just open it.
Here we are. He's back. Go ahead. Where can they get in touch with you?
I have no idea what just happened there. Everything just kind of froze and went away. So let's see. What was the question?
Where can our people get in touch with you to stay on top of things?
I'll do what I can do to post some stuff on your Facebook page as I know are going on. Like I said, the thing that was put out by our VRMA for the property managers and the homeowners, I'll put that on there. They most certainly, it's a petition kind of a thing, and they most certainly should do that. Everybody that's involved. I think part of our problem here is the hotels. Of course, they have lobbyists that are in government agencies or entities, and the property owners of the property, the vacation rentals is just people, right? They have jobs. They go out and they do things. What this really is people have a vacation home and they rent it out in order to carry it. Right, so they don't have time to lobby, of course, right? And I think that the vacation rental owners have become they're very complacent on the whole thing. They don't go to where people are going, even to the city council meetings that are against vacation rentals are all there. They're always there every week. They're always there, and vacation rental owners are never there. Of course, a lot of the time they're not from here. They're from out of state. They're absentee. So they don't have a chance. They don't even have a voice. In this petition we're putting out, or the VRMA is putting out, that's our voice. And vacation rental owners need to push and have their voice. They need to be heard.
All right, Paul. Well, thank you so much for your time. We'll stay in touch with you, and whatever you want to post on the Facebook page, please have at it. And good luck with this.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks a lot. That is Paul Von Feldt from Florida Beach Rentals. He's one of the folks that the lead organization that's filed a lawsuit against Governor Ron DeSantis. And I have to tell you, dear, I was surprised yesterday that he didn't say anything. And I was thinking, I kind of support how he's trying to open up the economy and open up the government and the state and the whole thing. And then I was kind of shocked when he didn't even mention it in any of his words, his normal speech, whatever you call it. And then the first reporter got sometimes the reporters are like rude. I mean, I have to say, like, well, it's like it was like
rude. It must have been bad.
Well, sorry. It was kind of uncomfortable because, the guy asks a question about the unemployment website, and I know the unemployment website. Everybody knows the unemployment website is a nightmare. And that's one of the things about the governor that I don't think he's done a good job on. He's deflected blame on that, but he's got to own that, just like he's trying to own everything else.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, and he's got to fix that, and he has to fix it fast, and he can't keep blaming it. But anyway, so I do have other information that you guys might find interesting after talking to some folks after the press conference yesterday. Lee County's has a task force. They already have a plan that they put together. The task force is put together, and the Lee County board is going to look at it on Tuesday. And my guess is they're going to approve it. If the task force is bringing something to the Lee County commission, that they're going to take their word for it and they're going to approve it. What happens after that? Like,
but you don't know what's in the plan?
No, the plan is to get them open. The plan is to get them open with whatever safety regulations that I haven't seen it, but whatever safety regulations that they put in place, that it's going to the county commission on Tuesday, and they'll most likely vote for it. And then what happens to it? Who knows? I mean, because, when you declare a state of emergency, the governor can do whatever he wants to do for the most part in any state. And we're seeing that in all these other states across the country. But I guess it goes back to the governor.
Well, the local government can do more, but they can't do less. Right.
I think that the town is already ready to roll on this. I think that the town was ready to roll yesterday if the governor lifted. So the other thing I wanted to mention was that yesterday, a few people have said that they're already knocking on doors to make sure that people follow the rules. Now, the rule is the rule. I don't want to see gyms like open and break the law and break the rules just because they want to get on TV. If the rule's the rule, you can disagree with the rule, but it doesn't give you the right to break the law. I never agreed with that. So here's what I think should happen. If somebody's breaking the rule, there should be something posted on the Fort Myers Beach website of the ones that did break the rules and the ones that didn't break the rules, because there are people that are following the rules and following the laws, and it's not fair for the people that are not following the rules to get money from this situation, while the other ones are trying, and they're getting screwed even more, because there are people on this beach that are not following, that are renting it out. And that's not really right. I mean, I don't want people narking on one another, and that's what this whole shit show has turned into, that people are calling on people because they're not 6 feet apart.
If you don't want them to narc on each other, then what do you mean about posting their names?
Well, if the town's going to knock on doors, they have to knock on everyone's door. There has to be a complete listing of who did it right and who broke the rules. I just think that's the only way you can do it. That's the fair way to do it. Make it all public. Like, here's the people that violated the rule and they got a code violation. Here's the people that didn't violate the rule and they followed the rules. I just think that's the only fair way to do it. And put people's name out there. It'll also stop people from doing it, because I think there's some people out there that are just going to keep doing it. What I heard yesterday was that some people are just saying, F it, I'll just win in court. And they might win in court, and meanwhile they bank in the money while the other people are following the rules. I just don't think that people should break the rules if the rule's the rule.
Well, I mean I agree with that. We have agreement on that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair that the vacation rentals are shut down. I mean, I've done the Airbnb thing, not here, but out west, and rented a house, and we were all together. The people that we lived together regularly, and then we went and lived there. So we ate in the house, and we stayed in the house. So we were safer there than going through a hotel and being exposed to 9,000 people and going to a community pool and yada, yada, yada.
When the governor said during his press conference yesterday, well, if you're going to have people coming down from New York, the answer is no. Well, if the people come down from New York and they stay at a hotel, I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference?
Right. Well, you and I talked about that.
I mean, they can, if you go to a short-term rental and they turn you away, they're just going to go to a hotel. You're not going to go back to New York. They're already here. So how does that make any sense?
Well, I don't know if they would. I don't know that people would come if they can't get the rental.
There's got to be a real different reason that nobody knows why that he's decided to keep these closed and decided that the hotels are fair game. So
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
All right. So we have an action-packed show for today, dear. And by the way, I wanted to talk about the Facebook page for a little bit while we're waiting for our first guest. And our first guest, by the way, we can tell you who all of our guests are going to be, is Robert Morell from the Island Pancake House. We like to always be pro-business down here on the beach. And Robert is let's see what Bill says. Is the issue cleaning and sanitizing between guests? Hotels typically have a cleaning staff. Well, didn't Paul just say that they clean as well? He had a cleaning system.
Yeah.
So, but that's what the hotel lady said yesterday, Bill, that I spoke to. I shouldn't call her hotel lady. That's what the hotel CEO said yesterday, that, they have a constant cleaning crew in hotels. But I mean, are hotels supposed to be 50%? Is that what the rule is? 50% hotels? I have to look that up.
There's way too many percentages
Right.
and it changes frequently.
Right. And starting Monday, restaurants can go to 50%, but I digress. Robert Morrell from the Island Pancake House. Mark List is coming up after him at 9:15. He's starting a new business. He worked for the Sandpaper for 20 years. And by the way, the Sandpaper, I think, is out again, printing on old newspaper. Yesterday was the first issue they came back out. Then Scott Safford from the Sea Gypsy and Beverly Milligan from Myerside to talk about the hotels. And maybe they can touch on the short-term rentals also when they come down. So I did want to talk about the Facebook page.
Okay.
Because the Facebook page has become a bit of an issue, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Okay. And so I just want everybody to understand, we have new people coming on the show all the time. We have new people following us on Facebook all the time. And the Facebook page is just something that we created. It's not something that is a news page. It's not something that is fair and balanced. It's really just, for the most part, what I think, right? Not really what you think, because you really have a job during the day and you don't even know what the hell's going on.
Well,
but
I know what's going on most of the times. It's just that you and I do often have a difference of opinion on many things. We historically always have. But regardless, it's
right.
your right to have your opinion. I just don't like
right.
some of the comments.
My point is with the Facebook page is that this stuff with the coronavirus and the government and the whole thing has gotten people all riled up. It's gotten people all jacked up. And sometimes it gets me all riled up, and I post my thoughts on there. They're just my thoughts. Nobody has to pay attention to them. Nobody has to read them. Nobody has to comment on them. But I do like that other people, like our friend Jay, comments a different view, and she puts it up there, and people comment on that. I had a long conversation with somebody last night. Why'd you delete my stuff? The only reason I delete things is when there's name calling. If you call somebody names, then I just think that's unnecessary and out of line. He said, well, her opinion was crazy, so that's why I called her a screwball or something. He was just trying to justify why he called her a screwball. And I was just like, it doesn't matter to me. You guys can disagree. We can all disagree on the Facebook page, but don't get to the point where you're calling names or it's getting personal, stuff like that. Disagree about the issues, and that's fine. And so I just want you guys all to know that it's going to skew the way I think. There's no doubt about it. So if you want to get in that scrum, that's fine on the issues, but it is going to skew the way I think. Not because I'm deleting stuff, because I don't watch CNN and I don't go on CNN.com and post on there because I think it's blasphemy. So I don't pay any attention to it. And I get the feeling that probably people who read our Facebook page don't want to pay attention to it. The majority of people probably think the way that we think. And
what do you mean?
Like my opinion. They think it's right, or
but I don't think your opinion is right.
I was joking about that part. That's I thought I was waiting for you to get on there and take a shot at me after last week's opinion.
Yeah, I mean the name calling, yes.
Yeah, the name calling.
Everybody.
Right.
Everybody.
I don't call anyone. Well, yeah, I guess I could tone it down a little bit when it comes to certain things. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that. The show is different than the Facebook page. The show is more beachy kind of things for the most part, but the Facebook page gets out there. I like to post articles about things that I agree with. I don't post articles about things that I don't agree with.
Well, again, it is your, you have your right to your opinion, and so does everybody else. But
here's the other thing. You have the right to your opinion and post it on there. You don't have the right to say to me that I should be doing it a certain way. When you do that, it just goes in one ear and out the other, because you can create your own page and do your own thing. It's a free country.
And when it gets too heated, well, not too heated, but when it gets derogatory names are being used and that stuff, it's going to be deleted. And the Nazi stuff.
Whenever something looks like a Nazi thing, I take the Nazi stuff right off.
Regardless of what he says or does, I will delete it.
What? I don't leave the Nazi stuff on there.
No, I will delete stuff if it gets too heated.
Yeah.
So people can blame me.
You deleted some of my stuff?
I
you ever deleted
haven't,
some
but
of my stuff?
I will, and
Right.
then people can blame me because I don't care.
We're rambling now. Robert, come on down. You are the next guest on the #1 radio show on Fort Myers Beach, Beach Talk Radio. We have last week we turned into the #1 show. Did you know that?
No,
Yeah, it's been big. We've been having parties and stuff, and so Robert is the new owner of the. What are you doing there? I had the whole thing set up. Now you're screwy Louing it. How you doing, Art? Come on down. Now she gave you the short mic, so I'm going to give you the good mic. Robert is from the Island Pancake House. Get nice and close, Robert, and tell us all about it.
Well, I'm a new owner over there, and it's a local restaurant. It's been there for 40 years or so. It's had a few previous owners before me, but we're doing all kinds of new specials now. We redid the place a little bit, so it's neat, it's clean. Trying to be part of the community, and we're there to serve you.
So how long have you then owned it?
I took it over in July.
So not quite a year.
No, not quite a year. Almost a year.
This is quite a first year to
I
be
know.
starting.
Yeah, what a year to start a business or to take over an existing business.
Do you have previous restaurant business?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I've been in the restaurant business for a long time, since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are you a resident of the beach? How long?
I
have you
live
been
right in
this area?
Fort Myers. I live in town in Cypress Lake area there.
Okay.
So you at 50? You'll be at 50% Monday.
Yeah, we'll be at 50%. So we have plenty of room. We're doing all the guidelines. We have tables blocked off, and our servers are wearing masks and all that stuff, and we're bleaching, and we're doing everything we can to keep the public safe.
Lisa wants to know: is the Pancake House on the south end?
It's towards the south end. We're about 3/4 of a mile past the Lani Kai on the left-hand side.
We
right
don't
next-
say those two words on our show. Sorry.
Sorry.
You have to. We'll have to edit that out. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We're right next to the library in the Sea Great Plaza.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So,
And your hours are
7:30 to 2 every day.
Okay, go ahead.
no. So
You seem like you're rapid fire with the
No,
questions
well,
because I
I
know you're
just-
into the food thing.
that
Go
is-
ahead.
I
You can
love
take over the
food.
food.
That
thing.
is so true.
we're doing all kinds of new specials too, and then
So what are some of your new specials?
well, one of the things that I do that's a signature dish would be my corned beef hash, where I roast off the whole loin, the whole brisket, and then I kind of shred it, and then we put that with the fresh potatoes and stuff.
In a pancake?
No, not in a
Oh.
pancake. No, it's like a corned beef hash and eggs,
Nice.
But instead of getting that mushy canned stuff, this is like a fresh, rustic, it's really good.
Reed from the SOB, he's a cook too,
Gotcha.
but he puts on a lot of weight because he eats a lot of his food.
Right.
You look like you keep yourself
Yeah,
in
I
shape
try
there.
not to. Well, I try to stay busy.
Pancakes are not on the Atkins diet, by the
No,
way.
I know. I do have gluten-free pancakes though.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of gluten-free stuff.
She's
I'm
big
trying
into
to-
that.
Yeah. I have I'm doing gluten-free waffles right now as well, and so I'm dabbing in maybe a gluten-free bagel. I'm trying to work on. I'd be making that fresh in-house.
One of our
for-
super fans wants to know if you have granola pancakes.
We do not have granola pancakes. At one point, I did make some granola, and I was doing like a banana split thing.
Yeah.
With split a banana and then the granola in there with some dried apricots and some yogurt
In a
drizzled over the
pancake?
top. No, not in a pancake. This is something
What
separate.
is it with
She
your-
asked about a granola pancake.
Yeah, no granola pancakes, but I could do that. I'll make the granola.
Well, you
We
can't
can
have
put it-
like a little can of granola on the side just in case some
Right. No,
you
crazy
wanna
lady
make it
comes in and
fresh.
asks for them.
Yeah. We try to make everything fresh.
So do you
Nice.
have like an array of pancakes?
We
and
do,
toppings
yeah,
and
all
stuff,
kinds
or
of
how do you-
fruits, yeah.
How many
Okay.
different pancakes could you possibly make? I mean, how many?
It's endless. It's endless. At one point, I was doing a key lime pancake. I was doing a coconut cream pancake.
It's like
These are the
pizza. You can do anything.
yeah.
What's
These are
the-
the types of things I kind of bring back as specials. And I'm starting to try to rotate through some of these specials that I do.
Do you serve pancakes from open to close?
I do, yeah. Breakfast and lunch, open to close. Everything. We have great lunch too. We do Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. I do a Cajun Philly.
It's getting hot out here, isn't
Yeah.
it? Wow, the sun's
So have
beating
you been
down on
doing
me.
a lot of takeout?
Yeah, more
During
than
this?
usual, more than I was used to.
How
Yeah.
how fresh are the pancakes? Like if you're taking them out,
Yeah.
you gotta like run them to the house. I mean, you gotta
No,
speed.
not necessarily because they reheat well. 10
Oh.
seconds in a microwave, it's like a fresh pancake.
How big is the pancake that you make?
They're pretty big, probably about the size.
I'm
of your-
surprised you
your
didn't bring
whole-
any.
Yeah. Oh, I did bring you something. I brought you some breakfast sandwiches.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and then I also have some stuff to pass out.
Don't worry,
here,
John.
too.
We'll eat them later.
These
Yeah,
are
we'll take-
10% coupons and stuff that you could pass
Very
out,
nice.
and then some sample menus as well. These are
What-
my takeout menus.
What are you doing to advertise?
Just a little bit of this on Facebook. I have my Islands Pancake House Facebook page. I post pictures of my specials on there, and then just kind of word of mouth. I'm working with Sean a little bit down at the Baptist church, and we're trying to, we're passing out food for the homeless and stuff like that and trying to feed the kids. So when all this started happening, I tried to do as much as I could for them down there. And just kind of word of mouth.
What's that tattoo you got on your finger there that looks right
that's
there?
my wedding band because I lost my ring.
Oh, shit, man. That's bad news right there. Did you get a lot of trouble for that?
I did. So this was our compromise.
What is it? What does it mean?
That's our date. That's the day we got married. Yeah. So April 12th, 2012.
Did she force you to do that when you lost your ring?
No, not necessarily. It was kind of a mutual decision.
Did you lose your ring in a pancake?
No. I was out jogging
that would
one
have
day.
sucked for the person that found it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
You lost it out running?
Yeah.
Why do you wear your ring when you exercise? You shouldn't do that.
I didn't think about it. I just
How did
wear
it fall off?
Yeah, good question. I must have been running pretty fast.
You took it off, you liar, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I swear. And then I did the same trek. I went back and back like 3 days in a row. And I could not.
The guy with that metal detector probably found it. How much was it worth?
My life. No,
right. Good answer. Good answer. Are you still married to her?
Yes, I am.
If you weren't, I was going to say, how are you going to get that thing off your finger? Or are you going to come up with a different story?
Oh, no, I would never know. This is my life partner. So.
Oh, that's sweet. I say that about you sometimes.
Well,
sometimes.
What is the most popular pancake that you sell?
Maybe the blueberry or the chocolate chip. Actually, I take that back. Probably the chocolate chip pancake.
Blueberry would be mine and my dad's.
What is the grossest pancake you've ever made? You just wanted to come up with some schlop.
That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever made a gross pancake.
Do you have people like submit
like ideas and stuff?
Yeah. Like that should be like a pancake contest.
Yeah.
Submit an idea.
When I go out and about and I'm talking to people sometimes,
Lay's does
people
it?
have ideas.
For what? Potato chips?
Yeah.
Different flavored potato chips. How many different flavors potato chips can you come up with?
People write in
like
all
what kind?
sorts of,
well, like what kind?
I think that's where they came up with the dill pickle one. That's
well, that's an obvious one though. I mean, what's the crazy one?
Up with some. Well, I don't know.
I guess they got to use the ones that sell. Is dill pickle potato chips still on the market?
Oh yeah.
How many different potato chips did they sell at the Publix?
Well, there's probably
an aisle full.
15, 20.
Yeah. Wow. So what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I know it's your segment, but sometimes she gets off the beaten path.
So I was on the Facebook page and I saw it looks like you have a lot of people that have been coming there for years. Do you have a solid base of folks?
Right. So I'm starting to piece the story together as, the longer that I'm there, some of the regulars come in and kind of tell me what it was and who it was and stuff like that. So originally there was an owner, Greg Stam, and he had it for years and years. And he started a Facebook page. So he's the Island Pancake House Facebook page. Unfortunately, he passed away, so that page is kind of stuck in time.
Yep.
So now the page that I manage is the Islands, plural.
Okay.
The Islands Pancake House. So that would be the new and updated with the new pictures and stuff like that, because I can't edit or do anything with the original page, so.
You got to sell
that is a good distinction, because I was on.
You're on the wrong page?
Yeah.
Is there any way you can get that guy to kill it or something?
I don't know. I guess, his girlfriend, when he passed away, his girlfriend took the place over, and she might have been the one to start the Facebook page, but nobody could get a hold of her or whatnot. So it's kind of stuck in time.
You've got the history of it, but it does make it, you just got to emphasize
the guy behind me sitting at the table.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity guy. I'm sure he could take it down. So after our segment, you should ask him about that.
I will do.
Well, I mean, come on. We're trying to make some money for the guy.
Probably like write Facebook or try to call somebody or something.
So how long have you owned it now? A year?
Almost a year, since July. I took it over July 1st.
So business good?
Yeah, business was good. The season was great. We were rolling. We were gaining momentum. And then, all this stuff happened,
Yeah. What did you think about being shut down like that?
Honestly, for me, it was kind of a blessing. I had a lot of projects at the house that I had to get done.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah. So it was actually kind of nice because, in actuality, since I took over in July, I had been there every single day for 8.5 months or whatever it was, So for me to kind of take some time to decompress and get some stuff done at the house, that was nice.
Do you know Tina Morell?
I do. That's my wife.
Oh, she says it's the best breakfast in town.
Yeah.
Maybe we should call Tina and ask her how she feels about you losing the ring.
Does she work there with you, or is this
on occasion? Yeah. She's a nurse, so she's a hero. She's a lifesaver.
Yes.
Now, speaking of that, do you wear a mask at the Pancake House?
We do. My servers are wearing a mask, and I would wear a mask as well sometimes in the back there. But I'm usually, the back, it's a pretty good separation, so I'm pretty much back there by myself or one other guy. So we're social distance away.
Cool.
Where I could infect anybody.
And let's give out the hours one more time and how they can reach you and all that stuff.
So the hours are 7:30 to 2 every day, 7 days a week. You can reach us at 239-233-8188. We do to-go orders. I offer catering. I have catering stuff that I do. I make it real simple where a lot of catering places, they'll do like a price per head, where I just do it like a flat fee, like a pan of eggs would be, a certain price. So you know what you're getting, and also I brought some coupons here so you could come down and pick some of those up.
We'll
and
keep
come
them with us
redeem
for the next few weeks too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So
awesome.
pass those
Well,
out. I have my contact information. I brought some cards and some menus down as well.
Well, we hope you succeed and make a ton of money.
I just wanted to ask, so the catering, what kind of events are you doing? What kind should people keep in the back of their head for stuff?
I could pretty much do anything. I'm a fully functioned kitchen over there, so I could do dinners and but mainly
so you can
breakfast
do smaller.
stuff.
You can
I
do small
could do smaller
things,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah, I could deliver. I have chafing dishes and stuff like that as well. And I like to try to mainly focus on breakfast stuff. Pans of eggs. We could do fruit plates.
If
and all
we can
kinds of
ever
stuff
get
like
these
that.
short-term rentals open, I could see people like, hey,
right,
let's order up some stuff and have it brought over.
Absolutely.
Do you
because people
sell
are
beer
vacation-
and wine?
No, not yet. I'm
okay.
actually in the process of applying for that right now.
Really?
Yeah. You were about to say something
Yeah,
about
for
that, weren't you?
mimosas and stuff,
very
you know.
nice.
That's a good
So,
idea.
how many pancakes per week do you eat?
Do I eat maybe 2?
2 a week?
Yeah,
Because
2 a
they
week.
put that. It's like a special breakfast, right?
And not just that. I got to make sure that they're fresh and they're good.
Oh,
and-
so you're tasting them?
yeah. It's
I want
pretty
that
much.
job.
It's a pancake taster.
Yeah.
Right.
So, do you do egg whites?
Yeah, we have egg whites as well. Yep.
Yeah.
We do egg white omelets. We have all kinds of different omelets. We
You
have
know
a lot
how
of
I like to
different
make
stuff.
pancakes with egg
take
whites
that.
and oatmeal.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, 4 or 5 egg whites, Quaker oats, because you can't have the fake
Right.
oatmeal, like the flaky stuff. What's that?
The
You
Quaker
gotta
don't
have
use,
the
oats
Quaker
you don't
oats.
use the instant. You
Right.
use
Yeah,
the
so you have
regular.
4 or 5 eggs, 1 yolk, and 2 cups of Quaker oats,
Gotcha.
and you put them in a pan and you salt the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise they don't. They taste like cardboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not liking that. That's
you
a
don't
dumb
put
idea,
any
right?
baking powder in your
Baking powder.
in the pancake stuff.
Baking powder.
It's got to make.
What
some
is that
flavor.
about?
Yeah.
Baking powder? No.
It makes them rise.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I did do one time with the egg whites? So is I did a Japanese pancake. I don't know if you ever saw those, but
No.
they blow up and they get thick like this. But I
Like
haven't.
a cake?
Yeah. Yeah. So what it is, you make like the pancake batter and then you whip the egg white separate and then you kind of whip that together. And then when you cook it, it goes, whoop.
Blows up.
But I haven't been able to perfect that to where I can make that, if like a lot of people ordered it, it would throw me in a tailspin, so I wouldn't be able to, I haven't come up with a plan on how I could keep them
you need one of
rolling.
those. You probably have one of those special things to froth up the egg whites.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
Apparently, Ruby's getting married. She wants to know if you'll do wedding receptions. Can you
Okay.
imagine the number of pancakes you would need to make for
That
wedding
would be
receptions?
such a
Congratulations, Ruby.
cool. Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if she's
congratulations.
getting married. I just assumed that. So Can you
yeah,
do-
I could do anything, call
come
me.
on, how
yeah.
can you do a wedding reception?
Yeah, call
Like
me, talk to me. I
100
do
people?
everything. Yeah, I have a lot of I have extensive experience with catering and dinner stuff, everything. Funny story is I actually started when I was 16, 17 years old. I started at Charlie Brown's down there at the end of the beach. And I was their prep cook, their meat cutter, their grill guy, their everything, and then I was working at Gulf Shore, which is now Shuckers, and so I've been all over this beach as well.
Wow, that's a great story. Now you own your own business.
Yep.
Very
And
cool.
now I'm here and I'm looking to give back to the community as well as much as I can.
Great. Well, we appreciate you coming on and wish you the
I
best
thank
of
you for
luck.
having me.
And we'll make sure that we have all the information on our Facebook page and get you some customers.
Gotcha. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and I apologize for the quarantine beard thing that I'm doing on my face.
Looks fine. All right, Robert Morrell from the Island Pancake House. Thank you so much for
Stop by
coming
and
on,
get some
Robert.
coupons. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so excited. I've never been so
Thanks.
excited to read ads in my life as I am right now, because everybody is getting back to business and everybody's getting back in business, including Fort Myers Tiki Tours. They are open for business and they're featuring social distancing cruises for up to 6 people. Let's see. Well, we'll start with the 4-people boat, the 4-person boat, which is $119.99. The Fort Myers Tiki Cruise people, they're awesome. 6 people, $179.99, and that's total per boat. That's not per person. They say bring your own drinks. They supply the U.S. Coast Guard captain, the cooler with the ice, and all the necessary required safety equipment. All tours are 90 minutes long. Sunset cruises are $20 more. Prices do not include sales tax, and all boats are properly disinfected prior to every trip. So they're doing social distancing cruises, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, 239-887. What are you doing? 239-887-0042. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. And we have an announcement about another sponsor right after we talk to our next guest, the great Mark List is here, everybody. Big round of applause for Mark.
Thank you.
Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Now, Mark, you were with the newspaper for 20 years.
20 years.
Forgive me, I don't recall exactly what you did, but kind of take us through what you did there for those 20 years. Yep, perfect.
Ever since the first, the 7th edition to before we went into quarantine, I was a production manager, which means basically I laid out the paper. So everything you see, the layout, the design, the colors, the pictures and stuff like that, people would give me the information and I would lay them out. And so on Friday, Thursday I would send the paper and then Friday it would hit the streets. But basically that newspaper you see, that's what I produced every week.
So you had to make sure it all fit and where everything went.
I was
and
the one that made it fit.
sort of like a puzzle.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
not be
But
good
I've
at
been
that.
doing it since the 80s. So it's like, it's not a big job for me because it's like water off the back of a duck for me. So it was, an easy job. And I had done it every single week for 20 years until the quarantine. And then because there was no paper going out, sorry about that.
No worries.
There was no job.
Yeah.
So,
newspaper business overall is tough. I mean,
Sure.
the same thing is happening to the folks at the news press. They're going through furloughs and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just tough because I'm in the radio industry and people are getting furloughed and laid off. Advertising, it's, another industry that just took a beating during this. When businesses are forced to close, there's no reason to advertise. And, and then the cost of the newspaper on top of that.
Yep.
It's got to be crazy. I mean,
well, it is crazy. And if you don't have advertisers, you don't have a paper.
Right. Yeah.
So, and, if you don't have a paper, you don't have a production manager. And for the first time in 20 years, I was without a job for the last 2 months.
So, I mean, somebody else going to do it, or they're figuring out a different way to do it?
They got a cheaper production company to do it. They have to make their ends meet.
Right, sure.
It is, I don't know.
Sure.
We haven't really talked.
Right. So you started your own business right
I've been
away.
Doing it all.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I've been doing this my whole life. I mean, I started in graphics in the 80s when I got my first Mac 128.
Oh my gosh.
In 3 months, I was a computer graphics specialist because they didn't exist. So I could call myself that.
And you know how to use a Mac.
Well, you better believe it at this point. I mean, my house is set up, one is a music studio and two is a artist studio. And that's our life.
What did you think? Well, speaking of music, I mean, your wife is super.
Joe Liz.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the whole the quarantine thing? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm a Vietnam vet, and I was a medic, and I'm trained on this shit. Excuse me.
No worries.
Okay.
No worries.
I'm trained on it. So I make my own decisions one way or the other because I know what a virus is.
Yeah.
It's not political. It's not commercial. It's not anything. It's a virus. And we're its friends. It's our enemy, but we're its friends. So, you do the basic things. I have had no problem with the quarantine, to be honest with you. Because Joe and I, in our 42 years of living together, we've had all kinds of situations, being quarantined on this island after Charlie for 4 days, stuff like that. I mean, hardships happen all the time. And,
right.
And this is just one of them. But Joe and I are like best buds. And, this is like a vacation except for the virus, Do
you think that governor and the counties are doing the right thing to try and open things back up right now, being that you're familiar with?
Well, personally, I think it's a little bit too fast. Phase one starting on Monday, 50% occupancy. I know what the needs are and stuff like that. But, we're talking about a virus which has no politics, no nothing. And if it is in existence, you want a safeguard from it. And it's real easy. Wash your hands. I wear this around in case I get in close. I just pull it up. So it's part and parcel for our new lifestyle that we're coming forward with. This is actually going to be a new life.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be the same.
Yeah. How long?
Obviously, I'm not putting out the sandpaper anymore
Yeah.
after 20 years. But, you know, I can live with that.
What is your so talk more about your business,
All right.
exactly what you do and how
Okay.
why people should call you for what they need.
I basically have a suite of programs at home to do anything graphically that you need. And that doesn't mean that I'm looking to work 24/7. I am also a cartoonist, and I have been forever. And here is one of my cartoons on my T-shirt.
That is.
See, this is my
That's
gig
crazy.
shirt.
Right.
That's my
Yeah.
grandson.
No kidding.
And
You killed a
I
frog
did
with a forge
frog,
pick. A
and
pick
then
forge.
Gigging
this is sort of
frogs.
the spiritual. The frog is going to the afterlife.
Gotcha.
Anyway, it's my gig shirt. But I mean, I do things, and every Saturday morning for the last few years, I've put up an illustration that everybody captions, and then I take the top captions and I make that the cartoon. I used to put it in the paper, but I don't have that anymore, so I'm saving it up, so to speak. But I'm still doing it because when I first started it, within 6 months, we had over 1,000 people from around the world captioning.
No kidding.
So I do it out of a labor of love because, one, I love to be an artist, and that's what I do. And two, I love the response to the community because it's non-political,
Right.
and it's all good nature.
Fun. Yeah.
And so people talk and get back and forth, and I think, you know, this is a contribution that I can't give up. So even out in quarantine, every Saturday morning,
Right.
as of this morning, by the way, there is a new cartoon up. People were asking me about that.
Where do
Where
you
did they
post
find it?
I
Yeah.
put it, it's on my webpage. Not my webpage, my Facebook page, Mark, MARK, list, LIST. And you can go onto my page, follow me. All my stuff is cartoon related, amusement related. You know, you're not going to go there and get interbulated. It's not designed for that.
Right.
You're not going to get what?
Interbulated.
I'll have to Google that later. She'll tell me what it
Think
is.
of a hurricane blowing through here.
Okay.
That would be
That's what they go on my
interbulating.
page for, I guess.
So with the cartoons, do you have them in one place? Have you thought of putting them in a book? Or, I mean,
I have
it
got
sounds
catalogs.
like a perfect
Oh, you do?
idea.
I have catalogs of clip art. Everything I draw as clip arts because it's my drawing. I can use
Uh-huh.
it many times, and it's endless. But my daughter put up on a Facebook or wherever on the internet a T-shirt company, which is what prints these things. I give them to her. She makes T-shirts, bags, socks, tights, stuff like that. Posts them up and people buy them.
Well, you got to give her information out so people
Well-
can find that stuff.
It's true. We're like artists, you know. We're not dedicated to the
business
dollar-
part of
the
it. Yeah,
dollar
yeah.
aspect. I mean, you know, I don't know what to sell these things for, so I always have somebody else sell them.
That's
Because
perfect.
to me, they're priceless, and at the same time, I'd be happy to give it to you. Not a good way to do business. So I turned it over to my daughters. They do it. They don't tell me anything. They just take them and post them.
Well, where can people
Artful, ARTFUL, Codger. CODGER, the art of Mark List.
Maria
Anyway.
says she loves your cartoons.
Ah.
Linda says she loves you.
Thanks.
Brian, I don't know what he says. So everybody, you got lots. Well, you know you have lots of fans
I
out
know,
there. You've been in
I
this
mean,
community forever. I don't mean
25
that. I
years.
don't mean forever, but
Well, a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
Started with a coffee house, you know.
wow, you've seen it. You've really seen it change then.
Oh, I have. And we love this beach. I mean, Joe and I are not the small town people till we moved here.
Right?
You know, we're from the Northeast and I grew up in Europe and stuff like that. But in the last 25 years, we've been here. It's our community. Joe's been town councilwoman 6 years. I've done theater plays, all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
This is
Very
our
nice.
home.
Cool. So why would I call you? Like if I, like if I wanted a logo, if I wanted a flyer, I mean, I don't want a flyer sounds like it's so cheap. I mean, so.
Oh, it is. It's fine. I will do it any budget because this day and age, nobody has money. 33 million people out of work. If they need a brochure to advertise their lawn business or,
Right.
you know, I see people doing things like from home. I mean, you've got 2 months of no work.
Yes.
People are suddenly finding they have abilities in crafts. I saw somebody who was painting on tin yesterday. Just grabbed the tin and started painting on it. And she said, oh man, I really like this. And it was a beautiful job. And she could sell it, make some money, get some food and stuff like that. So more and more, you know, another guy with his spin art, you know, he just does it on the side. You guys know he lives on the other island. But
Mhm.
Now he's making money doing that. Why would he go back to working 3 gig jobs to make the same amount of money that he's making from using his own skills? And I think we'll see more of that.
Mhm.
And they need advertisements,
Sure.
logos, brochures, whatever. We talk it out. Don't worry about what it costs so much as what do you want. If I can do it, I'll do it.
And not just for individual people, but you're open to do stuff for businesses as well. If
Anything.
they, yeah.
And I have projects under development on my own
Mhm.
that, will
Like
be
what? What do you got?
Yeah. Are you
I'm
keeping it
not-
under wraps?
Okay.
Oh.
Well, you'll tell us when it's ready, right?
Yeah, you'll see it when it's ready.
Uh-oh. Sounds big.
Yeah.
Sounds
Does
big.
sound big.
So, what you were smart at is you had something on the side that you were doing just in case, and that's really what that's what people
as
should
an
be.
artist,
Yeah.
we always have stuff on the side.
Yeah,
Because we don't live a 9-to-5 job type of thing.
true.
I mean, a lot of my artwork goes on at 2 and 3 in the morning. I started the 3 a.m. club just to amuse myself. And there's a lot of people up there,
Yeah.
usually artists and musicians. So it's 24/7. I mean, I forgot what I was talking about, but whatever.
Well, it's getting late in the day if you've been up since 2 o'clock, right?
Well, today was 4, but
Uh-huh.
we don't really care because I don't have a schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm an artist. I can do it anytime. So,
So how? One more time, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, whether they need a logo or they need anything that's art related or promotion related or something to help
for
them with their
example,
business.
A local artist here who does stuff here. She says, I need a brochure and some cards. Fine. She'll give me the information via the internet or email.
Mhm.
We won't go put heads to heads. It's a new deal.
Right.
I'll design it, send it back to her. She'll sign off. I'll send it to the printer. She'll print it up and do it. And so all you have to do to get a hold of me, my email address is beachniks, BEACHNIKS @me.com. But easy. Everybody's on Facebook.
That's right.
Just go to Mark List.
Yep.
Markle Sparkle. I do horoscopes. I do cartoons. It's all in there.
And what's the cartoon today that you put up? What is it?
Well, these cartoons are a little strange. This one is a frog in a trike with his tongue hanging out and a ladybug hanging on, screaming at the top of the lungs while a gnat with a stop sign in the woods is stopping him.
All right, Mark.
And I don't know what that means, but that's up to the caption.
I'm seeing, are frogs a thing for you, or it just happens to be that that's what's on your shirt and that's what was today? You love
I
frogs?
love all life.
Her mother hates frogs.
Yeah, my mother is afraid of frogs.
The bubo frog? No.
Yeah, right.
Tree frogs, what I call peepers.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter was named Peeper for many years.
Yeah, they're kind of cute. I mean, some
Those
of them
are
are
cute.
cute. Yeah, they're
One
cute.
time there was a tree frog on the inside of my truck and it melted on the window and died there. It was
Oh my
stuck.
gosh. Yeah, and they got hard.
And then it was, when those
Ooh.
frogs die in the sun, it sends
good
off an
smell.
awful odor too.
Oh yeah.
But how do you come up with these ideas for the different
That's
cartoons?
why he's an artist and you're
Well,
not.
that
That
artist.
was rude.
Well, it's true.
Well, I have this thing. You got the material world, then you got my imaginarium. Hey, that's my pet. Anyway, I have an imagination, and I keep drawing pads to the kitchen table. So when Joe and I are up at 3 a.m. drinking coffee and philosophizing about the world, I'll suddenly think of a frog on a trike. So I grab my pad up, I sketch it out real fast, put it back.
Well, that's the difference. Anyone can come up with an idea, but you have the ability to actually bring it to life
Right.
like that. So did you ever think of going to work for Disney?
No,
He's not a.
Silly
I'm
question.
not a corporate guy.
Yeah, no.
Ah,
I'm not. I mean, I could get a job. I could go and work for ad agencies. I mean, I could go to work.
yeah.
I get offered more money than I need.
How much do you get offered?
Well,
You don't have to answer
I
that.
don't really have to, but more than I was making for the last 20 years.
Ah.
I got offered much more, but it was going to Naples or going somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Do you find that the ideas sort of come like that, like randomly, kind of out of the blue? Yeah.
Yeah, they do, are totally. And you got to catch them. That's
Yeah.
why I keep a sketch. You should always keep a sketch pad because the minute you think of
Regardless,
it,
yeah.
and it doesn't matter what it looks like. It'll be a
Uh-huh.
circle with a couple lines, but when you come back to it, when you're ready, then you can actually pencil it out more.
Somebody said, wait, I got to read it. If you had a few more bloody Caesars, what's a bloody Caesar? That you'd look like Willie Nelson? Has anyone ever said
this? Maybe I don't
I
know.
said maybe you had a Willie. Somebody
72 years old. Maybe I think that.
You're 72?
Yeah.
Wow, you don't look 72.
No.
You look
I
great.
stay healthy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, any other questions, dear?
No.
All right.
I
Well,
think
Mark, we really appreciate you coming on.
Sure,
Oh, I
thanks.
did have one more question.
there you go. You were so
What's it-
close.
so close.
So
What
close.
is it like to work in a small town newsroom?
Well, I started out in the Baltimore Sun paper.
Oh, that's not
Editorial
small, though.
copy by- No, that's where I started at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where I come to this, which was, this isn't the Sandpaper at the time when I started wasn't a newsroom. It was a bunch of guys to get together that were trying to print something to make some money.
Yeah.
And so we put it together until we got what we got. And, you know, this is 5 people putting out a weekly newspaper. It's not like Naples or News Press or any of that, which is full staff. You know, it's not the same thing at all. It's, you know, I mean, you're doing investigative reporting somewhat here, but it's not like, you know, cable TV or something.
Right, right.
So, I mean, I was a local newspaper. At this point, I've been out of the business for 2 months, so I don't know, but you know,
Got ya.
it's got to be tough.
All right, Mark.
Thank
you so much for coming on.
down.
And say hello to Joe. We love Joe. She's the best, and
Sure.
you guys are awesome. And
Hopefully
Good
she'll
luck.
be able to get out and
we'll
do
put
we
her
the
are, we're gonna
stuff.
get out. It's just,
Well, I
you know,
mean, performing and
that's what
yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, we have an ability to perform because I play and she plays.
Right. It's
But the venue that we're playing in,
right.
I'm just not comfortable doing that. And
Yeah.
I keep my own counsel on this quarantine. I
Right.
will go where I think I should go,
Right. Right.
but it's not into a bar room.
thanks so much, Mark, and have a
Thank you
great
so
weekend.
much.
We really appreciate you coming
Thank you
on.
very much.
All right. Thank you. Mark List, everybody, and check out his Facebook page. Dear, I don't know if you want to try and put that umbrella up so you get a little shade there while I read that Shuckers is back. Shuckers is opening early. They were planning to open on June, and then I got the flash text this morning from the from Bob, who said, I'm not going to read that last one because it was a curse word. They are opening up on May the 26th. You thought it was June, but it's May 26th. Shuckers at the Gulf Shore, and the Cottage Bar is located just a few steps from the pier, heading south directly on the beach. Shuckers and the Cottage will reopen on the 26th. Hours are every day at 8 a.m. to close, serving breakfast, lunch, and a late night menu. They also have happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, featuring discounted liquor, domestic and imported bottle and draft beer, and classic food favorites. You can come by boat or you can come by car to 3 venues in one historic place, and that is Shuckers and the Cottage Bar right down the street from us. I'm looking at it right now. And they are opening back up again on the 26th, which means they will go right to 50%. And that is awesome. And you're eating. And we thank you guys so much for tuning in and to pay attention to our Facebook page. And we have our new guests, our latest guests. Come on down, Beverly Milligan and Scott Safford. We're going to talk about hotels right now. We have it all set up. I set it up. There we go. We have 4 microphones. We've had these guys on many times before. We just want to make sure everybody gets in the camera. Beverly's going to sit under the umbrella, and I'm the only one that's going to get a sunburn. All righty. Scott, welcome to the show. Beverly, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Beverly, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Thank you for coming on. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Scott, let's start with you. The Sea Gypsy, how's it going there? And you're taking reservations now, right? Tell us all about it.
We're actually full. We were full last night. We're full tonight. It's great to be back. It was a long time coming, but we're super excited.
Well, that didn't take long. I mean, that's awesome that you're full already.
It is.
Great.
We're blessed.
Is it local, or was it from people from out of town? Because how did they get down here so quick?
I think it's about half and half. A lot of
Okay.
Miami, a lot of local people as well.
But it's Florida
Just
stuff.
inside. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I was just thinking, how could people make reservations and get down so quick? But
So when is the next availability about for you guys there?
During the week, we've got some availability. Next
Okay.
weekend, we're full. I think you guys are too, aren't you?
Yeah. And we tend to this time of year. It's consistent with this time of year. We get more locals. We get more people from the East Coast coming over for weekends. It's, the West Coast is the cottage industry
Yeah.
in the summer months.
The only thing missing is the international. We get a lot of international travel in the summertime, and of course that's going to be zero this year. But we get a lot of people that spend 2 days in Orlando, 2 days in Tampa, or 2 or 3 days here, and then go to Miami.
And then they have different vacations too internationally. So what we see is full weeks being booked at times when nobody's interested in being here otherwise.
So where exactly is Myerside?
So Myerside is on School Street, which is School Street and Oak Street. So that's right across the street from Bay Oaks.
Okay.
And it's adjacent to the town pool.
Okay. So talk about the safety regulations. I don't even know if that's the right word, but the safety part of it, so that whatever the rules are that you guys have, what is it?
Well, there's some guidelines that we're following, but we're taking some extra steps. For instance, our check-in. We usually have people come in our store and check in.
Right. I've done it myself.
Yeah, we've stopped doing that. It's self check-in now. We give you your door code. We don't have interaction with our staff, so there's no turn down servers. There's no come in have the maids come in during the day and freshen up. We're not doing that any longer.
Yeah.
So we're doing the little things. We're deep clean. We're Clorox wiping everything that they touch, door handles, remotes, you name it, TVs. So we're trying to take that extra step.
Bev?
Scott's and our properties are somewhat different. So our approach, we've got a much larger common area space. So we sat down with our staff when we realized that we were actually going to get to open, and had a full social distancing meeting. To see what their concerns were and to see what their thinking was. So we came up with 17 new procedures that we documented, and under those are other procedures, that fit within that. And some of them. So, for example, our reservations, we are allowed, of course, to rent nightly, but we now have instituted a minimum of 2 nights temporarily. And as soon as something's booked, we book out the 3rd night, so that nobody actually gets no turnover. Nobody gets into their suite for 30 hours since it's been used. And that was, for the staff. They really felt much more comfortable going into the suites after a minimum of 24 hours. When they go into the suites, they will be wearing masks and they will be wearing gloves. And then we've removed from all of the suites our decorative pillows or anything that can be physically picked up and removed that is sort of part of the luxury.
Not essential.
Yeah, non-essential has been removed from the suites. And then the common areas, we've put disinfectant spray in all of the common areas, and we've got signs plastered everywhere.
We do too.
Yeah. And we've got guidelines for the guests. And those are in the suites. They're now in the binders and just posters and postcards to remind people to social distance and also how to social distance. So there's spraying areas and avoiding interaction.
So is it 50% or you guys can go 100%?
No, we can go 100%.
Okay. Is it the same way for like a big hotel? Can they go 100%?
They can, but a lot of them are choosing not to.
Okay.
A lot of them will rent every other room or every other floor.
See, our spaces are different. We have outdoor. All of our spaces are quite private and isolated, and I think that's true too for
Yes, yeah. All our room doors are on the outside.
So you guys are not in between, like you go to the hotel and you leave and they come in and clean it. So you're not doing that until the people
they leave.
Until
correct.
they leave.
That's right. Well, we're not doing it until 24 hours after they leave.
Okay.
How damaging was this to your business?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
In fact, we should have had a cocktail. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Hundreds.
And debt. Now we're in debt.
If it wasn't for the PPP loan, I'm not sure I'd be sitting here right now.
Wow.
Yeah, for us,
It
the
was-
PPP.
It was huge.
Yeah.
So you were both able to get it?
Yeah.
We got the second round.
Yeah,
Okay.
Same. And what was really interesting is that we had to change banks. We had to go to a small bank.
Yes,
Big
we did
banks
too.
absolutely couldn't handle anything. The volume was so large. And so we now have a relationship with a small local bank, Sandcap. And we'll
One from
continue.
Sandcap. We've heard that a lot.
That's who we went through as well.
Yeah.
We
They're
need to get
fantastic.
somebody from Sandcap on the show because
They're
everybody's been
sponsors.
talking about
They're
them.
crushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
They're going to grow, and I'm happy for them. They deserve it. They've been great.
So the employees are good. You didn't have to. I mean, they're back to work now. Nobody's good now, but I mean, do you know anybody?
I have one employee that has some health issues, so she chose to stay furloughed. But
Yeah.
other than that, everybody's back. Everybody's excited. I even had 2 employees that were getting the $600 on top of the Florida, and she chose to come back to work. I mean, she's been with us for years
Cool.
and years, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah, I think people want to go back to work.
Yeah.
They don't want to
Imagine that.
They don't want to take the unemployment if they can go back to work, even if it's less money, because people want to work. But I digress a little bit. So how long is it going to take you guys to to
Recoup.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 7 weeks. It's amazing.
I know, but
or
we
8
had,
weeks.
We had red tide. Then we
True,
had
yeah.
no, wait, hold on. We had Irma, then we had red tide, and we were just getting through it, right? We were just getting through it.
Right.
We were having this great year, and now this. So it took 2019 for us was sort of the economic hangover, and we were just getting back to zero when this happened. So it's going to be a couple of years.
Wow.
It's going to be a couple of years. So with Irma and with red tide, those people that typically came down here during that time of year have found other places to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost at square one in September.
Yeah, I think people, that they'll give you one pass, like, well, I missed it because of red tide. But when 2 or 3 things start happening, they're like, maybe we should find another place to go vacation, and that's a shame.
I'm sorry, Linda. I don't do this enough, and I apologize. Scott Safford from the CGFC, Beverly Milligan from Riverside. That's
Myerside.
Sorry, Riverside. I don't know where that came from. I don't say who the guests are enough, and sometimes new people come on and they're like, "Who the hell are they talking to?" I have no idea who that is.
I'm Jackie's husband.
Everybody knows Jackie. So and so people are watching from different states, so we want to make sure. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I can't even remember what we were talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay. So
people coming, but then not coming back, and new people coming in.
It's gonna be tough.
So, but I'm really actually excited about it. I think that our kinds of hotels, which are very isolated, separated, open public spaces that are private, a little bit more luxurious. These, according to the statistics, when you read TripAdvisor, you get involved in these webinars. Yeah. These are the types of places, if you market them correctly, that they want boutique. They don't want to come to a big hotel. They want boutique hotels. So for us, it's about changing our message and communicating how safe it is, what procedures we're taking, and just sort of being out there in a new way, which is always exciting, right? And
I mean, I think you guys are able to offer a more custom experience than some of the big folks, and I think people are going to be leery about being in the big stuff. So they're going to look for those smaller boutique kind of environments where they can vacation.
We also have a big asset, and that's the beach. With the beach being open and how clear the water is right now, I've never seen it this beautiful. I mean, I've been down here 13 years, and it's amazing. So,
what did you guys think about the vacation rentals now, or think about how that's going? I mean, how you guys own places that are open? Is it really fair that they can't open?
No.
No, absolutely not. And I think I've been listening to some of the other speakers, and really it's about getting organized. It's about being strategic. So, for example, I keep asking, well, listen, everybody here on Fort Myers Beach has paid $100 to get a license to have a vacation rental. What's being reimbursed on that license if we're being shut down?
Right.
Things like this. We have to start asking more of the strategic questions so that we can get our government officials at every level advocating for us. We're vacation rentals. We're single individuals or small companies, but if we ask the right questions to our officials, they're going to perhaps be more engaged in working with us and getting us open again.
Paul was saying earlier that there is no organization like they have hotel lobby, and maybe it's time for those guys to get organized if they should see what happens.
It's not fair to the bars and restaurants. I mean, the bars can't be open, obviously, but it's not fair to the restaurants. I mean, I get guys that, Lalo calls me all the time asking, hey, how's occupancy looking next week? Because he's got to order booze and he's got to order food and do his staff. So I mean, it's critical that we get more people down here to kickstart the economy.
Well, and also we were talking about this earlier, you look at the statistics, what we had 11 people in the 33931 area. So we had we had spring break, we had all of these things, and we had 11 cases. So come on, let's use our common sense.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but that might be slightly a little political, but I'm fine to go there. Did you think there was an overreaction?
Well, I definitely think that the town overreached. Look, we self-closed. We were the second hotel on the island to close. I think you were the third.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got it. We were just like everyone else, but I think they overreached that, and the new council realized that. And I think May 15th was a good date. I mean, it got, once we realized we were open, we did the same thing Bev did. We had to pull our team in, and it's a new ball game. So we had to do some training. We had to, make sure that when we opened, we did it right. So I'm glad they didn't say, okay, tomorrow you can start writing rents.
Yeah. But in their defense, nobody knew. Nobody knew. We had to go with the science at the time. So I'm not sure I agree that it was an overreaction because we didn't know. And we were looking around the world and going, oh boy, right? So it had to be done. But, and it was done, but it's time, especially for the vacation rentals. It's time to get the economy on the island going again.
I know it's not your business, but do you guys have you're going to have more of a sense than I would of how many people the vacation rental homes bring into the area?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Every day.
No, thousands.
Thousands
Wow.
probably.
Thousands.
I mean,
let's, in season, we have 50, 60, I would argue 70,000 residents or people on the island in season. And we've got, just around 6,000 permanent residents. So churches, they have 13 people going to church on Sunday, and they've got 400 going to church in season. So it impacts everything.
Somebody sent in the message box, why don't these people care enough to wear masks? I mean, you just can't get away from it no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
listen, I survived Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, that was a major hot spot right there. Yeah. So, and I guess I just choose not to. And
you know what?
Nobody needs to sit here if they don't want to.
Listen, exactly. While we're on site at Meyer site, everybody's wearing a mask. Absolutely. 100%
But really, the reason for that is because you want to make the guests feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Not because it does anything.
Right. And if somebody sneezes, you sneeze into the mask.
And if you guys came on here and said, well, first of all, if you guys came on with masks and were like, hey, could you do me the curtain?
We put them on.
Totally
yeah,
do.
right. That's different.
I would totally do it.
That's the great thing about being in America. If you choose to wear a mask, do it. If you choose not to, now if you require it, I go to Costco, I put the mask on.
Right. I would never cancel my Costco card just because that's their business, and I like pizza, so I'm going to wear a mask. I mean,
I totally get it. Look, my father was he passed away last year. He was 96, and I can't imagine what I'd be doing differently if he was still here. I'd probably be a hermit.
And mine's 91. She's in a nursing home or a retirement home, and she's going to stay that way, and they're still not going to allow visitors. The point is that if you're frightened as we open up, stay inside.
Exactly right. You have the choice to stay home.
Your absolute choice.
And I think the other thing is I know, you can pass it if you're asymptomatic, but certainly if I felt I had anything.
Right. We wouldn't be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would be home.
Right.
What, any sense of how the big hotels are doing with reservations? Have you heard anything?
So I get an email every morning about availability, and it didn't say 100%, but it was it was high.
Yeah, I think
the volume's high.
Yeah,
so
people are wanting to get back to their life, and I think that translates for us into getting bookings.
And what you have to realize too is just our beach was affected. The hotels on San Carlos and on Summerlin, they were open the whole time. So people being worried that, oh my gosh, that we're going to get bombarded by all these people, they were already here.
Yeah,
we're staying just over the bridge.
To be clear, the town of Fort Myers Beach, the council here closed Fort Myers Beach hotels down. Everywhere else in the state
was essential.
They were open.
It was essential.
They were
in the
essential.
State. Do you think they'll look back on that and say it was a mistake, or who knows? I think that they were afraid at the time that there was going to be an influx of people, but who knows?
Voluntarily closed.
I voluntarily closed too. I mean, I think it was the right decision.
Yeah, I think back then.
Refunding 90 days worth of reservations. That's very painful.
Yeah. I think back then, when nobody knew anything about what was going to happen, it was the right thing to do, to close things down, make people stay home. But now we know what's going on, and we might not be able to cure it right now, but we know the risk we're getting into. I mean, I could go out and I could get it, and that's the risk I'm willing to take. But people can stay home if they don't want to go out. That's the thing. Don't tell me that I have to stay home, or just
so I'm
stay
gonna ask
home.
you a question. You're going to hit the gym 5 a.m. on Monday, right? Now that it opens,
Well,
or are you going to be more cautious?
No, I would go. If I knew it was open, I would go.
Okay. Are you going to wear a mask?
No, I'm not going to wear. If they ask me to wear a mask, I'll find another gym. I can't work out with a mask on because I don't think I could breathe. Not for any other reason, but I'll go at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Because
and you've always been good, and I think even when we had our gym, you were on.
You got to be on that, but most people are. Most people are
using sanitizer.
We're all so much more aware of things. Like I am aware, as somebody asked why I'm not wearing a mask. I took a decision while I put this microphone so close to my face. Somebody else used it earlier. It hasn't been sterilized, but I feel okay with that. Right. I'm not concerned. And that's why I'm sitting here instead of saying, can I come in remotely, which you did today, right?
Yeah. Well, he was from Clearwater, but yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But these are the options that we have now. So I think we've all learned a lot about the decisions we're making when we interact with people.
What do you think is going to happen Memorial Day weekend? I mean, do you worry about that at all? I mean, people are going to come and they're not going to be able to social distance, and it is going to be interesting.
Well, we're focused so much. We're focused only on Meyer side. We can't control what people are doing off the property, but we have a lot of procedures in place, and we have a large space, and so we're very, very comfortable of our guest safety in as much as one can provide the supplies, provide the information, and the opportunity to protect themselves. The rest has to be up to each guest, but it's all there for them.
I hope that the council and the town manager make sure that we have enough police presence on Memorial Day. It's historically been crazy, and it's probably gonna be crazier this year.
Yeah, I mean, and
you think it's gonna be worse this year with people
having want to get out?
Pent up,
people want to get out. Yeah,
it's going to be tough for them. I mean, and there's no good answer to it. You can't. I guess you could if you wanted to. You could do what Naples did and try and close that off, but it's just going to cause more. There's no good answer for Memorial Day. People want to come.
Yeah, and maybe it would be nice to see a few more signs to remind people of social distancing. I mean, there are things that the town can do between now and then.
And I think when you go out to the beach, most people are just minding their own business. They're with their family. They're, they don't get a tape measure out and say 6 feet apart. And there's always going to be a group of people that are being asses. Yeah.
Well, and I think people feel safer when they're out of doors than in a contained area.
But also Costco's providing masks. They require masks. They're providing masks, right? Meyer side, we're strongly recommending masks, and we're providing them. The town could be doing the same thing. I mean, they've got people cleaning the parking areas and things like that. Perhaps they could make masks available. There's things that people can do to mitigate this.
Yeah.
So Lisa says, God help the doctors and nurses who will have to deal with the aftermath. And so there's always going to be a group of people that think they can predict that this is going to lead to more cases. And there are people that think that people are going out too fast and the businesses are opening too fast and it's going to spike. And I don't know how you can predict that. I mean, what basis do you have? What science are you basing that on other than you're just trying to guess and you're trying to prove other people wrong for allowing the economy to open? People need to get back to work. You crushed the economy. There's 30 million people out of work. Businesses are closing. And what we're building here is a society that's relying on the government. That's what we're building here. Where's my next check? Where's my next PPP?
Well,
because you closed me down.
But they have to have it right now. I mean, it is
Nancy
what it is.
Pelosi and her cabal passed a $3 trillion package last night. Good thing it's dead on arrival, but that's just another gigantic package to give out to people. Now, I'm not saying they don't deserve it. Let them go back to work first.
Listen, I mean, let's use our common sense. I'm no doctor or nurse or nor do the scientists that predicts this stuff. But I think it's fair to say that we're opening up and there's going to be a second wave, probably in the fall. But the difference is, and let's realistically ask ourselves, why did did we have to shut down in the first place.
Exactly.
And it was to protect those very doctors and nurses from too many people being sick and being overrun. This second wave, which unless there's a vaccine, we know that's coming, but we'll be better prepared. What everybody did was take a breather and get prepared.
I agree, 100%.
So,
and the numbers came down with those measures put in place.
And Lee County's, I think Lee County's in a great position. And according to DeSantis, Florida's in a much better position than people predicted that they were going to be just a few months ago. And the numbers are nowhere near there. That's right. Who knows what the numbers are going to be, but don't act like you know for sure.
But the point is, if they're not prepared, then that's
different
bad on them.
Different.
Bad
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
But we know it's coming. Let's hope there's all kinds of preparations now so that every single person can be taken care of properly.
Any final words, Scott?
Thanks for having us on the show.
Yeah, we always
please
appreciate
stop by
you
the
guys
Sea
coming
Gypsy.
in.
We have wear F&B shirts.
You're selling them there, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Just so you guys were clear, they do sell. They're having them at the Sea Gypsy to sell. So how you come into the store?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we're practicing social distancing in
Got
the
ya.
store. We're limiting the number of people that come in.
And you guys are all on Facebook and websites and all that. If people are out of
absolutely.
town, they want to stay
MySide.com.
there. This is where you want to stay. The Sea Gypsy's right on the beach side.
Yes, beachside.
On the other side of
1698 Estero.
right. Cool. Where are you located again?
Yeah, so
Beverly?
we've got two. We're on beachside on one place, Sandy Beach Motel, and on the other side, Myerside Resort and Cottages.
Thank you guys for coming on. Good luck
Yeah,
with
thank you so much.
with the next few months, and hopefully you'll be sold out forever.
I hope so.
That's
Thanks for
great.
having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you, Scott Safford and Beverly Milligan from Myerside, not Riverside, you ding dong. We appreciate those guys coming on, and we might actually end this show on time. And we're not going to be able to go over more because I am sweating from sitting out in the sun here, and you got in the shade there.
No, it's really nice. And thank you to Mangaritas for
Yes.
providing us with shade.
We got to switch those microphones back there, and I'll have to turn that one on. Wait a second. Let me turn it on.
And thank Mangaritas for
Yes.
providing us with this shade.
Yes, for your
so that
shade.
my skin stays okay.
Thank you so much. And they are open starting at what time? 10:30? 10:30, right next to Pete's Timeout, which opens at 7 o'clock. The Dairy Queen is open again. Shuckers opens on the 26th. When's the 26th, by the way?
It's coming up.
It's coming up soon. So they were originally planning to go June 7th. They're opening on the 26th. And so the only other thing I wanted to say about the beach was those people that came down to the beach, I'm waving my finger like I am somebody, and I know I'm not, who littered on the beach and left all their garbage on the beach. It was totally disgusting last week. I mean, it was really, you people, I mean, you should be arrested for that. I mean, that was insane. The amount of garbage people just left in the sand. I mean, bring a garbage bag with you, for crying out loud. I can't believe the amount of garbage that people left on the beach last week. They really should go to jail for that. They should go to jail for that.
On the opposite side of that, my thought as I look around is these guys are
they're scrubbing things
killing
down.
it with the cleaning. It is, I mean, everything is swept up. Everything's decontaminated. It looks great down here.
Yeah. So Monday is the town council meeting at 9 o'clock, and then Tuesday is the county commission meeting at 9:30. And for those of you with vacation rentals, the way I understand it from folks I talked to yesterday was the plan is in place to give to the county on Tuesday, and it's expected to pass so that it goes on to the governor, and hopefully he'll approve whatever that plan is quickly so that everybody that has a vacation rental can open. So that's everything that's going on, dear.
All right. Well,
nice
thank you
long
so
show.
much for
If you missed the beginning, we had Paul on from Clearwater who filed the lawsuit against the governor for the vacation rental. So we thank him. We also had the brand new owner of the Pancake House,
Robert Morell.
Robert Morell, at 9 o'clock. We want you to go visit him. Mark List, who has a brand new business that he opened up. He's a graphic design wizard, and Scott and Beverly. So
And a fabulous cartoonist.
great. Pay attention to the Facebook page this week, but don't call anyone names because that's the way you get deleted. Thank you for joining us. Look at that, dear. 2 minutes early. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.